Welcome to But Her Lyrics, the show where we delve into the political lyrics of songs I like, songs I wrote, or topics that I think should be a song. I'm Shauna Potter, singer and lyricist for waronwomen, and your host. Earlier this summer, waronwomen played a show on an actual boat in the New York City harbor with our old tour mates, Subhumans. It was so cool. The whole thing was so cool. Being on the water, reconnecting with those guys. That's actually one of the things I love about playing shows. Randomly reconnecting with people, sharing some moments, and then parting ways and never knowing if you'll ever see them again. Something about that really works for me. Anyway, opening the show was this really fun band called Ratas En Zelo. Sorry, that's just fun to say, which means rats in heat. They were cool people and the crowd loved them, and so I wanted to have them on the podcast. This is one of those times where I hope I'm showing you a new band that you fall in love with, for sure. So coming up, I chat with Yadee, the singer, to discuss their song Jesus, about the hypocrisy of religion, specifically Christianity and Catholicism. And we start from the beginning, how they got started, the song, and we also get into the current kidnappings of brown people under the guise of immigration policy and how that is affecting her. And we end on the idea that being pro-woman does not equate to anti-man. Speaking of men I don't hate, Patreon! Shout out to all my patrons for their support of my very non-lucrative work. After multiple years now of working as an intimacy coordinator, I finally feel comfortable enough to call it my job. When people ask me what I do, I'm saying, oh, I'm an intimacy coordinator, instead of gig worker or, well, I have like 5 jobs or whatever. So I don't know. That feels really good. And of course, it's right in time for the film industry's huge slump. So there just aren't that many jobs to go around right now. Despite all my work, the math ain't mathin', right? But your support on Patreon is so vital to me, being able to keep working, keep racking up experience and credits while we wait for real good jobs to come back, for things to change. So truly, truly, thank you. Thank you. And please, patrons, let me know if you need anything from me, have suggestions, ideas, questions, whatever. And of course, if you need a guest list spot, hit me up. I do have a couple questions from Patreon. So let's get started with Daniel W. asking, I'm paraphrasing here, who would you love to interview on But Her Lyrics, and feel free to dream big. Well, off the top of my head, Kathleen Hanna, Mary Timony, Slant Six, Stevie Nicks, Hart, FKA Twigs, actually. I've been listening to her album Eusexua a lot this year and kind of fell in love with it. Didn't expect to. And I feel like I would have a lot of questions for her. Anyway. I don't want to think too much about it because I don't like homework. So that's what I've got for you right now. All right. And Stefan asks, what are you looking forward to the most when touring Europe? And what's the main difference to touring the US? Oh, Stefan, I am so looking forward to Europe. I'm looking forward to the bread, the beer, the wine, chilling generally, and just being away from the US for a minute. And the main difference in Europe, let's see. The main difference is that Europe understands that a touring band will need to eat and sleep. Whoa, what? Are you kidding me? Yes. Often there are snacks waiting for us when we get to a club, and they might have like bunk beds upstairs or some other place, or a festival will provide a hotel or hostel as part of their offer. And the US is like, good fucking luck. You're on your own. Not my problem. So I don't know if it's a lack of resources or infrastructure or funding for the arts that makes it harder. I don't know what the fuck they got going on in Europe, but for some reason it just works. And I am someone that gets hangry and I love to sleep and I don't love to admit those things. but those very basic life things really affect me. When I don't sleep enough, I get sick, which if I was just playing guitar, it wouldn't matter so much. I could just stand there and play guitar during the show. But since I sing and frankly dance a lot, it's harder to push through when I'm feeling shitty. Now, luckily, we have all day in a van in the US, because the drives are long, to find a hotel or place to stay. So I know the schedule by the time we get to the club, which just helps mentally knowing what to expect. But food on the road is the bane of my existence. I have to think about eating vegan and having the time to stop. And if I try and save money and time with meal shakes, then I need to stop for a bathroom every 2 seconds. And it's about having enough food to perform, but not too much or I'll hurl, or too little and I want to pass out. And by the time you're done, everything is closed for some reason. So you need someone else to get you food before the show starts while you're setting up merch. Anyway, suffice to say, meal and food planning takes up a huge amount of brain space for me on tour. And it's so boring and I hate it. And it's something that I'm still to this day trying to perfect. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Europe. If you want to ask me random questions on this show, sign up for my Patreon right fucking now. Just do it. Go to patreon.com/ShawnaPotter. And if you know anyone in Europe, tell them to see War on Women play July 26th through August 8th. We're playing some cool festivals, some cool clubs, and we're playing some new songs. It's gonna be a good time. And the award for smoothest transition of all time goes to me because, speaking of a good time, here's my interview with Yadee, the singer of Ratas En Zelo. Interview time! Yadee Araniva, welcome to But Her Lyrics. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, my name is Yadee Araniva, and I am very happy to be here. Yeah, Shawna.
Well, now I'm happy too. No, I was already happy. Thank you so much for being on the show. I in the intro, I say something about playing a show with y'all on a boat, not really knowing you before then. And so, I kind of feel like I want to get to know Ratas En Zelo's story, in addition to talking about the song Jesus, which is why we're here. So how did this band get together? What is your origin story? What does the name mean? How did this begin?
So basically, my sister, the accordionist, and Maria, the drummer, they were friends. They had just met. And soon after that, they started talking about, I play the drums, I'm learning accordion. So they got together for a few practices, like maybe 3 or 4 practices. And then my sister tells me about it. And, I was doing vocals for another band, all male band. And I was like, hey, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. This sounds really good. So they invited me to a few practices. And then we have chemistry. So we just started making songs. We didn't know anything about music, about singing or anything. So we just started something that probably if we knew, it wouldn't have been as, I call it original or different kind of sound. But because we were learning music with each other, we came up with this, whatever it is. And the name is funny because I like to joke with them a lot. So I used to come at practice and be like, we are cats, but like female cats, gatas. Which is gatas. We are Ratas En Zelo, which means cats in heat. We are Ratas En Zelo. And I was just saying that as a joke. But one time, one of our friends said, he forgot how I was saying it. He said, the ratas. And my sister was, that sounds better. That sounds more punkish, sounds more, with more essence. So we just, why not? We just kept the Ratas En Zelo. Like it was pretty easy name picked.
It's very New York too, which is where y'all are based, right?
Yeah.
And very Baltimore, which is where I'm from. A lot of rats in Baltimore too. So I feel a kinship with y'all. So I love, some of my favorite bands are bands that learn to play music together, and do really cool shit. Like Cake Like is a favorite of mine from back in the day. But it is very unique to not have a guitar player, but have an accordion player.
Right.
So I get where that came from because it was your sister playing accordion that was like, let's write some music. But did the conversation ever happen of like, should we add a guitar?
Well, yeah, it was mainly like, okay, she was playing the accordion, and it was almost like very natural to be like, hey, why don't we let the accordion be the lead instrument, and we get a bass. It was really never a discussion. We're like, yeah, would you get a guitar? No, yes. It was very natural. And now that you're asking me, I'm like, man, yes, that was a very natural, a common sense for us to be like, you know what, let's just leave the accordion as the lead song, as the lead melody. And I guess because, the rule is punk, you need a guitar. So in our little rebellion minds, we're like, you know what, no, we don't have to have a guitar because it's fun. We can just leave the accordion as the lead instrument.
Yeah.
And it was not a big discussion at all. It was like just almost like second nature to just
like, duh, of course.
Yes. But we always wanted a bass. We just didn't have a bass player just yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm from Texas, and I think the style of music is called Tejano music, right? Where there is a lot of accordion and very busy bass. Is that something that is influential? Is it just like a natural part of?
We're definitely not aiming to Tejano or to cumbia or ska. We are aiming to punk.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, the guitar is playing punk, the bass is not playing the tan 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 tan. None of the instruments doing any Tejano or cumbia style. We were trying to make punk, like fast and energetic punk.
And is that what you all listen to? Is that what influences you, or you kind of pull from a lot of different styles of music?
I would say we all love punk. The three of us love punk. We, of course, love ska. We love cumbia. We love all these other styles. But what we were aiming here were punk. Now, unconsciously, we do always have influences. Like my sister and I were very influenced by bands from Spain. Even in some of the ways that I sing, I noticed, hey, I didn't try to do it like this, but I'm influenced by like Servium, Piperrak, bands from Spain. And Maria, she loves the Ramones. She loves those Minutos. She loves other styles of bands, but then we just complement each other.
Like I said, I feel a kinship with y'all a little bit, like not just like there's a bunch of rats in Baltimore, but also because of our band names. And I'll tell you why.
Uh-huh.
I believe that when we put parameters on ourselves within which to work, it actually makes it easier to be creative versus just like, do whatever you want. Okay, what do I do? So choosing the band name War on Women, that gave us kind of a thesis, is like, okay, well, everything should sort of come back to feminism in some way. So this rat theme, you're wearing little ears and everything is sort of, lyrics are adjusted to bring in that theme. Are you finding, I don't know how long you've been doing this, are you finding that theme is still working for you, or is it getting harder and harder to keep bringing rats and cheese into into everything? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. If anything, we'll try not to make it too ratty, like too rat, because I can say ik and rats forever because I love that. But we definitely, like, we have a few songs where we say ik or ratas and stuff like that, but most of the songs are not about the rat theme. It's also the rat style that we have adopted as our own, which is like very, I guess, energetic, fast, funky, kind of punk. But no, if anything, in the next album, I want to add another one or two. We'll try not to overdo it because, it's a lot of rat. Like you said, the ears, the cheese, even the sign that we have is ik. So we'll try to not overdo it, but you can't help it. Sometimes you have to have one or two songs per album about rats.
That makes sense. Yeah. Like, you're not a joke band. Like, you're a real punk band that just has this kind of like wash of a little bit of rat stuff, like fun.
Sarcastically.
Yeah. But it's not a joke. It's serious. And so like little hints and little bits to keep it going. But it's just fun. It's just fun,
Yes. Gotta be embrace cringiness too. Like,
yes.
thing. Like people who's too scared to be cringy, they might not get out of the box. You know, you have to be out there too.
Totally. Like it prevents us from enjoying life if we're that worried about what other people think.
Definitely.
Oh, I love that. And I could see that when you guys were playing on this boat, you know? It's the first time I saw you, so I was just being hit with the overall image and the theme, and I was like, whoa. And everyone in the audience was having so much fun dancing to your music, and they were not worried about like, oh, should I like this band? And oh, is it okay to dance? Like everyone was just having a great time, and it was a really beautiful night. Do you agree?
It was absolutely awesome. And even like me seeing you guys, and I love your stage presence. I have no idea how you do all these movements and don't lose your air. So I was like also watching you, like,
I don't know either.
Because the head and you do a lot of really cool shit, and I'm like, how does she not loses her air? I feel like if I move too much, I'm like, you know. But yes,
I'm going to the gym after this interview. I gotta keep up the cardio.
Oh, right. I think that's what it is. But yeah, the crowd was amazing. I think for all bands, it was really, they were there to dance and have fun, and that's the best kind of crowd.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we encountered that a lot.
Yeah, good. All right, let's get into the song. So it's called Jesus, a play on Jesus. My interpretation is that it's a satirical song about religion in general and maybe the hypocrisy that one finds in very devout people or just religion itself. Now, you grew up religious. What was that like? And did you find yourself rebelling against it at an early age, or did it take a while?
Well, we grew up religious, but in the aspect where like it wasn't like I was in peace with God and very connected. It was more like, hey, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell. God is gonna punish you. We went from Catholic to Christian. Very, very extreme parenting. I grew up with my grandma and my daddy and my grandpa. Very, very strict. So it was, I never remember having peace in all these religious traumas. I always remember being scared of God, being watched, being terrified of the devil. I was terrified of the devil and the darkness, because being dark and all these images, they're not good for you. They're the devil. You know, everything is the devil. So
and the devil to you was like real. Like,
yes,
or that's what they were telling you. Like it was a very real thing.
Yes, they brainwash you since you're very, very little. So you grew up with all this belief that everything is bad. If it's not white, it's bad. It's bad. So I will say the rebellion started when I guess every teenagers, it gets to be like, they want to be their own person. And that's what everything kind of started, because even though you have all these fears, you still want to be yourself. And I remember being influenced by my sister. She's a year older than me. And she started like listening to punk and dressing in a different way. And I was down for it. I was like, this fits right in for me. And I was like maybe 12, 13 when we started listening to punk and kind of like not really being so much part of whatever they were trying to guide us to. But that's when things became worse, because now reading the Bible was obligatory. Am I saying this right? Obligatory?
Obligatory, yeah.
Obligatory every night, going to church every Sunday and throughout the weekdays. My aunt is a pastor. They had 2 churches in my family, so that was a lot. And my grandma used to throw away our clothes, our boots, our music. It was like part of the reason why we ended up in this country, but that's a different story. And it ended up being very frustrating, a lot of crying, a lot of like feeling repressed, and we ended up hating religion. You know, we were forced to get baptized, or she will kick us out of the house. That was the agreement. If you don't get baptized, we were like maybe 15 and 16, you get out of the house. And that's how we got baptized. And we have pictures of this shit. So it's crazy, you know? So
all the worst aspects of religion in your house, and the fear and repression.
Ridiculous, yes.
Wow. So lyric reference. I love this line in the song. Religions, they cannot explain the divinity within ourselves.
Right. Just because like religion doesn't mean I know that I'm more than this human. And I know that divinity and spirituality is to me, it's all there is. You cannot exclude anything. Even the darkness, it's part of ourselves. And when we embrace that, we become like whole instead of separating, oh, that's good, that's bad, and judging yourself. So yes, I do believe that in that divinity, that we are not as humans being as flesh, but then what we are inside, what we dream, we have thoughts and feelings and emotions and art, we create music. So we are definitely divine. But not in this square religion box, you know what I mean?
Yes, I really love that. So there's the sermon part at the end, right? And one thing you say in that is for only $49.99, all your sins can be forgiven. So funny, so great. And it's in English. And I was curious, a lot of bands, a lot of people who live in other countries or, decide to forego their native tongue and write in English. But I think most of your songs are in Spanish. And so when do you decide to sing in English? And was it ever a conscious choice to avoid it or not avoid, how did that come about?
Well, so to me, it's the easiest, I think, in Spanish, right? So it's to me, no problem. I can, improvisation, we improvise and I always sing in Spanish. But consciously, we make a choice. Okay, we have to have songs in English. We have to have at least one or two here, or maybe one that has a little bit of English in the middle. We consciously make that, and to make it happen. Like we have one in the old album in English, one whole song in English, and in this one we have 1.5, which is a part of Jesus, and one whole song, which is I'm Right, You're Wrong. So it's a conscious decision to make at least one song in English because, for me, it's easier not to do it because I feel like my pronunciation or the way I try to deliver the song might be a little more, have to think a little more. But yes, this is how we decide. We're like, we have to have a song in English, at least one or two.
I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't bring up all the fucking crazy ICE kidnapping bullshit going on with Trump's terrible immigration policy. Is that something that has been affecting you or your family or I don't, if you'd like to talk about that at all, I'd be happy to hear it or, even just tell listeners what they can do to help or just want to give you that opportunity. I want to give you the floor, basically.
Right. So, well, personally, no. And personally, every aspect, no family, no friends that I know, like immediate friends. And definitely not personally. It had affected us all in the emotional aspect, in the fact that we feel so, what is this word? Like input in, like not having the power to do anything sometimes. We feel like powerless, I guess is the word.
Sometimes powerless.
It's like
disempowered.
Disempowered. So because of these cases of these people that's been arrested illegally, a lot of these people being citizens or green card holders, and there is no warrants, there is nothing. They're just straight up breaking the law in front of our eyes. So in the aspect that it has affected me, and this is of course my lawyer's advice, is like, because I've been in a process for 20 years.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes, 20 years, and it has costed me so much money. Like, I'm not even gonna say how much, but
you don't have to say. It's okay.
Yes,
but a lot
of money, a lot of stress, a lot of shit going on, and finally, I got my green card.
Congratulations!
Which is amazing, and then it makes me feel like, damn, I just got my green card. Now I feel like doesn't matter,
right?
Because you know how people is just being grabbed with citizenship with green cards just because they profile them as like brown workers. That to me is
right. That's a wide net of people.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. They're going to very specific areas like work, like construction zones and like garden work, type of work. And so again, directly, no. I think globally it has affected everybody who has common sense and humanity in themselves. And right now for these times, I mean, even I'm like, believe it or not, even I'm like trying to figure out what really is the way to, don't open the door, don't talk to the police, don't talk to the agents, that you don't have to respond anything. But they're grabbing you without all these things. So this is where I'm like, okay, so what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
What is there to do? You know what I mean? So it is a very difficult situation. But again, I do feel, and I was telling my drummer the other day, I do feel like even when there's a lot of darkness and bad things going on, it always comes back to a balance. Like nothing can be so, not even in nature, things are always so completely out of balance. Eventually it comes back to its balance. So we just have to hold on, protect each other, be aware of our surroundings, and and I know I hate this phrase sometimes because sometimes I'm very negative, but yes, stay positive, because I do believe that energy is something that you attract at the end of the day, your thoughts and beliefs and feelings. So
there is a little bit of like, it's obviously everything that this administration is doing is terrible. It's going to be terrible whether I'm miserable all day long, or if I can stay positive and try to find the good and keep working towards something better, keep protesting, keep contacting representative, keep in touch with my community, like they're going to do their thing, whether I'm angry all day, sad all day, or happy all day. So it's a matter of what's going to help you do the work. And maybe a little bit of righteous anger is what is needed to be motivated to do the work and get connected and see where you can help in your own personal community. Or maybe it's something else, but you got to figure that out and not let them dictate.
I do agree.
Not let them be. They don't get the right. They don't have the right to make us miserable all day long.
Right.
I don't know.
And what you said is very true. And something else, and we take this for granted, but all this visibility of people being abused and us being able to see it, people being arrested and us being able to see it, is creating what they want. And I know we don't really think of these things, but it's true. I believe it's true. They want us to be in fear. They want us to be worried. They want us to be to know that they're very powerful and we have no power. This is how I do believe that collectively the world is created through our beliefs, and whether we're in fear or in power. And the more we see these things, the worse we feel. And I feel like that's the way we mold these things. So it's not to be heartless or to ignore, but it's also to stand in a place where, like, even though these things are happening, we're still here. We still have a voice. We still have a choice, like you said, to feel better, to project this maybe in a creative way, to reach out to people, to be close to people, to feel more in harmony with our community. Because at the end of the day, it's bad things are going to happen in this world. I call it the world of contrast. I think in this world, I don't think we're going to achieve full peace. I think there's always going to be dark, light, sick, and health, love and hate. I believe very strongly that this world, at least this one, it's of contrast. So all we can do is balance our emotions for what we see, and choose. Maybe in another world, maybe in a different reality, but in this one, I don't think so.
It does seem like it will always be a fight, and we'll never just get to the other side and be peaceful. But they want us to feel defeated, and they want us hopeless. And so one beautiful way to resist is to not feel those things so that we can keep doing good work or making good trouble or raising wonderful hell or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Is there anything you wish I had asked you? Or is there anything you're very tired of answering in interviews that you want to make fun of?
You think? Sometimes there are things I can't. Hold on. Well, I guess they always ask us. They always ask us why we don't have included a man, or if we speak like just because you're a man, you're not allowed, kind of thing. And to me, it really comes down to, no, we have male friends and we love straight men. We love them. Yes, we do. We date them. But if we can choose a space where we feel comfortable, especially we're making this is our project, our space, we simply decide, okay, no in this one, not today, no in our band. And in fact, we have right now our fill-in bass player. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yes.
Joe is absolutely great. He also does this performance as Neve, which is this whole character like a woman, like it's just badass music, electro punk.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yes, he's amazing. And he also plays with this other band, Downtown Boys.
Yeah, that's how I know him. We met years ago. Yeah,
he's playing tomorrow. So yeah, I would say it's nothing against men, like specifically like, oh, fuck you, we don't want you because you're straight man. No, it's mainly because this is our space and we have decided to keep it this way, just like you decide how to keep your home or your circle. And that's something that we get asked sometimes. It's fun.
Do you ever feel like you have to give a not fully true answer? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to really reassure the interviewer, like, no, it's okay. We love men. Don't worry. Instead of just being like, fuck you. It's what we want to do.
Well, it's especially because it comes from like men asking us this.
Of course. No woman would actually ask that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the question might be a little aggressive. Oh, you feminist, you hate men. And I'm like, no, we don't hate men. And it's something like you said, we've been asked so many times, like, we don't hate them. We don't. It's just the simple fact that we want to have our space the way we want to have it. We even have sometimes birthday parties with only girls, only females. And then we have other ones where whatever, but it's just a choice. Like you said, like sometimes it's hard to be like, yeah, we don't hate you. We just don't want to have you in here. So yeah, that happens.
Oh, that's funny. So what's coming up next for y'all and where can people find you?
Well, we're playing with the biggest punk band in Argentina, Dos Minutos. We are so happy. I grew up listening to Dos Minutos. We all were fans of Dos Minutos when we were very, very young. So playing with them for us is a big deal. And they can find us in Instagram, Ratas En Zelo, Zelo with a Z. And everywhere, Facebook, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, really everywhere.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining me on But Her Lyrics.
Oh, yes, But Her Lyrics. Yes, thank you so much, Hannah.
So good to see your face again after the boat show.
I hope we play again.
I do too. Yes. That'd be fun, right?
Definitely fun.
Yay. Oh, that was so much fun. That was so great to chat with her again. I didn't feel like I got to hang out with that band very much on this boat show because I was basically wandering around the boat for hours, just taking it all in and looking at New York from this very unique point of view. So, so that was nice. Anyway, keep listening to hear Jesus by Ratas En Zelo in full. And you can support this podcast by liking my YouTube channel and sharing, subscribing, and reviewing But Her Lyrics wherever you get your podcasts. It's free and it helps. To find episode transcripts or to find out more about what I do, my book, my trainings, my Patreon, head to shawnapotter.com. To learn about all things War on Women, head to our linktree at linktr.ee/waronwomen. You can also find me on Cameo. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my Patreon and tell me who I should interview next. Thanks for listening. And no, for real, fuck ICE.